Welcome back, Move to Vapor fans. My name's Jason, and I'm here with another product showcase. Since I'm the guy that tends to use the larger devices with the larger tanks, the sub-ohm coils, all that goodness, I've been elected to tell you about Zeus. That's right, King of Olympus, Father of Apollo. Don't mess with me or I'm shoving a lightning bolt up your backside. Zeus. Now, the thing about this tank is that it is a top fill, top airflow tank that I have quickly decided is my everyday vape. I have a handful of tanks, and this one seems to be the one that gets the most traction nowadays, mostly for its good cloud production, fantastic flavor reproduction, and the fact that the coils seem pretty resilient, which in this day and age where hardware is going to be more and more interesting to come by, longevity is going to be important. As I said, this guy's 5 mil tank does come with a 3 mil non-bubble glass replacement in the box, which has a box, and does come with 2 coils. The first of which being the 0.2 coil, what they call the Z2 coil, and the Z1, which is a 0.4 ohm coil. So that puts you solidly in that sub-ohm category. And the big thing about that is that sub-ohm, for those of you who don't know, what that does is the lower the impedance, the more power is required to actually drive the coil. Most of the time you'd think, why would I want to do that? The reason you do that is lower impedance usually comes from a thicker diameter of wire or mesh in that tank. So that's more surface area, more vapor production, and therefore all the goodness. I'm going to vape the mess out of this for a hot sec. Yep. Now the nice thing about the top airflow is I've had more than a handful of people tell me that the bottom airflow tanks, as the gaskets start to wear out, they get soup everywhere. The tank will leak, it'll flood at the bottom, they'll take that first draw after, letting it sit for a good long while, and I don't mean like a minute, but, 20, 30, 45 minutes, they got a little bit of a pool of juice down in the breathing well, and that can just result in you sucking up juice as if you were having a Slurpee from, that particular brand of convenience store. With the top airflow, the airflow is going to come in from the top, down through a chamber, and then out the mouthpiece. So, long story short, there's not a lot of opportunity for juice to get where you don't want it, and therefore end up where you don't want it. So, one of the things you'll notice is that I am currently using this on a GeekVape Aegis, which is a 2-battery mod, twin 18650s, goes up to 200 watts. I don't run this at 200 watts. That's a little much even for me. But the Z2 coil, which is my preference, does require somewhere between 70 and 80 watts at its butter zone. I actually run mine a little cooler just because of how I vape. I feel it also stretches out the runtime of that coil just a little bit. So what we're going to talk about today is what you get with your Zeus, why I like it, and why I think folks who are looking for a larger cloud experience or a greater flavor reproduction experience might want to give it a try. That's normally where that guy's going to live, but clearly it's not in its box right now. So we're going to go ahead and pop out our little accessory kit. And this is where we're going to find all sorts of goodies, like, as I think Thomas said, the free candy that comes inside. No, that's silica gel. Don't do that. Silica gel just keeps additional moisture from getting to the materials. Here's our 3 mil replacement glass, which, assuming you've had some sort of break or you're having an issue, I guess I could not crackle that right in front of the microphone. What do you think? So, just standard tube glass actually sleekens up the profile a little bit, so if you have a device that is still capable of that higher output, but maybe doesn't fit nicely, you can swap to that, or you've got a nice replacement in the case of breakage. My guy has the 0.2 ohm coil already installed, so we got our 0.4. And the thing I really like about these coils is they are a mesh type coil, so meaning that there's more surface area in contact with your wicking material at any given point. But they're also keyed, and I don't have a good way to show you this without cracking this open, and I'd kind of rather not at the moment, but I will do so on one of my personal 0.2 coils. One of the things about this tank is fit and finish are very, very, very important. And on this guy, this is going to be an interesting detail to try and show off with my camera and light. You can kind of see, sorry, it's not great, but you can kind of see the tabbies that are sticking out east and west here. And that's important because as you're dismantling the tank and you pop that in there, you want those little winglets to kind of seat exactly in their receiver. And it's pretty obvious once you go, oh, yeah, I got it. But the reason for that is that secures the coil. It doesn't float around. It doesn't twist loose on you. This is a slide-in coil, not one of those ones where you got to try and tweak it and get pliers and none of that. But fit and finish is fantastic for that purpose. Other things in the goodie bag include a whole new set of washers and gaskets and a little tool should your coil get stuck. Got a little, kind of looks like a yoke, kind of almost like a fork that just gets in there, locks onto it, and pulls it up. I've never had a particular problem, but it's nice that they thought to include that for you. So all that's in your kit with your coil and your spare glass. And it just, the advantage to something that is such a low resistance, such a beefy coil, is that flavor and cloud production. So just a note on availability, we do tend to keep the coils and the Zeus in stock. Coils are going to run you $4.99 a piece. They come individually or in a pack of 5. And the Zeus itself, in my opinion, is a bargain at $34.99. There's other mods out there, there's other tanks out there, but you pair a Zeus with a GeekVape and you've got something really solid to go with. But that's just my recommendation, and this has been another Moved Vapor product showcase. Give us a call, 314-329-6689, or come in, take a look for yourself. We'll see you next time. Zeus! And for the love of God, I hope I don't get sued for ripping off a movie there. Tank, and I just realized I don't have any of the stats I meant to write down, so I'm going to stop this and start completely over again.